In the rugged heart of Balochistan, where windswept mountains rise above sun-baked deserts, a sacred plant has flourished for millennia. Cannabis. This resilient plant, with its potent resin and versatile fibers, has always been a vital crop to the people of this ancient land. It has been a healer, a muse, a companion, and a conduit to the divine, its story intertwined with humanity's earliest steps in the cradle of civilization. The tale of cannabis in Balochistan stretches back to the dawn of human history, rooted in the fertile soils of Central Asia, around 10,000 BCE. In Balochistan, a land of ancient trade routes and Neolithic settlements, cannabis found a natural home. By 700 BCE, the people of Murgar in the Kachi plain were cultivating crops and trading precious stones like lapis lazuli, likely encountering wild cannabis among the region's flora. Valued for its seeds, fibers, and psychoactive resin, cannabis was a gift of the earth, to the people and tribes who revered it. Though today, direct evidence from Murgar is sparse, the plant's prominence across Central Asia suggests it was a familiar ally, sustaining body and spirit. As Balochistan became a crossroads for empires, cannabis traveled with traders, nomads, and mystics. Its resin, painstakingly collected and transformed into the potent charas and hash, became a hallmark of Balochistan's cannabis culture, its heady aroma rising from ceremonial fires and communal gatherings. Cannabis in Balochistan has always been a bridge to the sacred. As early as 500 BCE, nomadic Scythians, whose trade routes touched Balochistan, burned cannabis in funerary rites, inhaling its smoke to honor the dead, as chronicled by Herodotus. Archaeological finds, like the cannabis-filled braziers at Jerzhenko Cemetery in the nearby Pamir Mountains, confirm the plant's ritual role, a practice likely mirrored in Balochistan's own spiritual traditions. Here, the region's high-THC cannabis, thriving in the arid plateaus, fueled ceremonies that connected the living to the divine. By the medieval period, cannabis wove itself into the spiritual fabric of Balochistan's Sufi traditions. Legends speak of Baba Ku, a mystic from Balkh, who wandered the mountains with cannabis, spreading its use across Afghanistan and Balochistan. For Sufi adherents, charas, hash and ganja, were tools for transcendence, dissolving the ego in pursuit of divine unity. This echoed ancient Indian texts like the Atharvaveda from 2000 BCE, which named cannabis among 5 sacred plants, a vessel for spiritual awakening. Balochistan's place along ancient trade routes, including the Silk Road, made it a hub for cultural exchange, and cannabis was a prized commodity. By the Bronze Age, the region supplied cannabis to the Indus Valley civilization. As Islam spread in the 7th century CE, scholars like Avicenna documented cannabis's medicinal virtues, while mystic travelers carried cannabis products westward, introducing hash to Egypt by the 12th century. In Balochistan, the art of hash production flourished. The 19th century brought Balochistan's charas to global renown, its fame spreading from colonial traders to the hippies of the 1970s, who sought the legendary Afghan black along the hippie trail. Yet, as global restrictions tightened in the 20th century, Balochistan's cannabis culture faced challenges. Still, the plant persists, growing in remote and wild places across the Sulayman Mountains and Makran coast. It sent a reminder of ancient traditions. While modern laws limit its recreational use, cannabis remains a quiet presence in rural remedies and spiritual practices, its legacy carried forward by the resilient people of Balochistan. The cannabis of Balochistan is a living thread in humanity's story. From the Neolithic hearths of Murgar to the Sufi shrines of Balkh, from the communal crafting of charas, to the smoky gatherings of tribesmen, this sacred plant has shaped a region and its people. It has healed, inspired, and united, its legacy as enduring as the mountains that cradle it. As we honor the cannabis of Balochistan, we celebrate a timeless bond between humanity and the earth. The Balochi Indica. A fellow traveler through millennia of human history, continues in the rugged landscapes of this ancient land, its fragrance carrying whispers of rituals past. Yet, in the modern era, it faces new challenges that threaten its cultural and botanical legacy. Amid these trials, the opportunity to cultivate this revered plant in other lands offers a path to preserve its sacred genetics, inviting craft growers and visionaries to become caretakers of a lineage steeped in history and spiritual resonance. Today, the Balochi cannabis exists in a complex shifting landscape, often disconnected from the plant's cultural, medicinal, and spiritual significance. Imposed restrictions complicate traditional practices, risking the erosion of knowledge passed down through generations, and loss of the Balochi indica's genetic diversity. These challenges underscore the urgency of preserving Balochistan's cannabis. A living archive of human connection, a testament to the ingenuity of tribes tending to their plants, the wisdom of Sufi mystics who saw divinity in its fumes, and the resilience of a region that has cradled it for millennia. To lose this legacy would be to break a sacred bond, a link to the ancient rituals and practices that once united communities in shared reverence. For those who feel called to preserve this heritage, Balochistan's cannabis offers a remarkable opportunity. This versatile plant can also be cultivated indoors with ease, bringing the spirit of the Sulayman Mountains to greenhouses and grow rooms anywhere in the world. Unlike temperamental common hybrids bred for the consumer market, Balochi indica strains are hardy plants, their genetics forged in the harsh climates of Central Asia. These plants adapt readily to controlled environments, rewarding growers with dense, resinous buds that echo the potency of their ancestors. Indoor cultivation requires no vast fields, just a modest setup, an attentive hand, and a reverence for the plant's storied past. To grow Balochi cannabis is to become a steward of something rare and sacred, an act of defiance against the homogenization of modern cannabis culture. While mass-produced commercial seeds flood the market, often lacking the vigor and character of their forebears, Balochi genetics stand apart. These are not the diluted hybrid strains of commercial catalogs. Instead, they are heirlooms of an ancient lineage, each bud a testament to the mystics, shamans, and tribes who revered them. For craft cannabis growers, collectors, and those seeking a deeper connection, cultivating Balochi indica is an invitation to nurture something meaningful. Imagine tending a plant whose roots trace back to the Silk Road, whose resin once fueled the ecstatic visions of Sufi poets. Picture the satisfaction of harvesting buds that mirror those shared in Balochistan's communal circles. Growing Balochi cannabis is more than horticulture, more than a hobby. It is a spiritual journey, a chance to touch the sacred through the act of cultivation. Every leaf, every trichome, becomes a link to the ancient, a way to honor the resilience of a people and a plant that have endured through centuries. For those who seek authenticity over conformity, Balochi cannabis offers an unparalleled experience. Its genetics, preserved through careful selection, are a treasure for those who value rarity and quality over the commonplace. While the seeds of this sacred plant are not found in commercial catalogs, they are within reach for those who seek them. Discreetly shared among enthusiasts, passed from one caretaker to another, as our heritage has always done. To cultivate Balochi indica is to join a quiet lineage of growers who choose the extraordinary, who plant not just for yield but for meaning. In a world where cannabis is often reduced to a commodity, Balochistan's sacred strains beckon to those who crave something more. This plant is for craft growers, for connoisseurs, for those who feel the pull of history and the divine. By cultivating Balochi cannabis, you become part of its story. A caretaker of a legacy that spans Neolithic villages, Sufi shrines, and desert gatherings. You hold in your hands the power to keep this sacred flame alive, to grow a plant that is not just rare but beloved, not just potent but profound. To choose to cultivate Balochi indica is to choose to cultivate a connection to something greater. Become a guardian of this sacred heritage, and let the cannabis of Balochistan remind the world that some things, some plants, are worth preserving for their beauty, their history, and their unbreakable bond with humanity.